Oh, you know what?
And
Italy's a great place to visit, don't you think?
That's
Oh,
right.
yeah. Let us travel now. It's time for Vitamin T. Teresa Tomeo, of course, a wonderful host and, of course, a pilgrimage leader and an author. In fact, a new book coming out, today, Teresa? Good morning. How are you?
I like that segue, by the way. That was great, guys.
How are you?
Very smooth. I'm great. We are great. We're so excited. And I say we because there's a whole team behind this book, and it's out today officially. Italy's Shrines and Wonders, Volume 2, Discovering Sacred Spaces and Fascinating Places in the Life of St. Francis of Assisi. It's a beautiful book published by EWTN. They also published the first one. There's great pictures. There's personal stories. There's all kinds of insider information, different places that meant a lot in his life and ministry. So I hope people can grab a copy ASAP, as we say.
I have a copy in my hand right now, Teresa.
Yay.
And
Yay.
oh my gosh, the pictures in here are amazing.
Thanks. You know, those are from my cell phone, Pat. If you can, most of them. Can
You
believe
gotta
that?
be kidding.
Wow.
No, I'm not. I'm not kidding. Now, some of them, we did have a photographer with us when we did the EWTN Learn series, The Unknown St. Francis, and he took some stills and shared some. But I would say 95% are taken from my phone.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh. I was just looking at the St. Francis Basilica at sunset. Oh my
Yes.
gosh. These are just great. So, Teresa, I'm just paging through this book. I just got it a couple days ago. And I love the way you have this laid out.
Thank you.
How did you kind of, like, was it in your head from the beginning, okay, I'm going to try to kind of follow Francis in his life and see where it takes me?
Yeah, that's a great way of putting it. And a lot of the prep work was actually done last year when we recorded the whole video series that I just mentioned, the 8-part video series on the unknown St. Francis. So we had been to all those places that are in the book, and there's other places in the book that we didn't do in the series. But we wanted to lay it out and say, okay, where do we start? What's the most important? How do we go about it? And we tried to somewhat chronologically do it. And I think we did a pretty good job. But the way the book is laid out, if you have the first book, Italy's Shrines and Wonders, Volume 1, you can see how we try to be, very similar in terms of helping people as a guidebook. I mean, it's more than just a travel guidebook.
Yeah.
There's much more in it because there's a lot of faith elements and also, stories and whatnot. And again, insider tips and travel information. But we wanted to make it easy for the traveler. That's why it's color coded. I have the book in my hands here. You've got the different colors for the different sections. And then the layout is very similar to the first book because God willing, we're going to continue with this series. And I'm hoping that the next book will be on the region of Tuscany, which is so popular. So, yeah, I was really happy with it. And I wrote this book in believe it or not, less than 2 months. I wrote it in about 5 weeks.
Really?
And yeah, thanks be to God, we had most of the research done. Reason being is we were doing the series knowing that the year of St. Francis was coming up. And then we kind of decided once we got the series shot in late last year, we decided, well, maybe we should put a book with this. And then we had the announcement from Pope Leo. We decided it would work, really well together to have a book and the series for the folks. So, but we're trying to keep the format of the books for the series very similar so people find it easy to follow.
Well, I got to tell you, Teresa, that first book was, again, the way it's laid out and the pictures that are in it and the descriptions that you give, it's so usable. There's so much usable material in there. It's not just education, it's also entertaining. And I thought, after reading that book, I thought, how do you do that all in one volume? There's got to be, there's enough information that, I'm not surprised that you came out with a volume 2, and I know a volume 3 has got to be in the works.
Well, literally, you could go all over Italy. There's 20 regions, so I don't think we're going to
Yeah,
do
yeah.
20
You could
books.
keep
I don't think I
going,
can
yeah.
handle it. I think my publisher will be a little bit upset, too, because this is a lot of work, not only for the writer, for me behind it, but also the people back at the publishing company, the layout and whatnot. But I do want to do several more in the top areas of Italy. Tuscany is gorgeous, and there's a lot of places in Tuscany that people miss related to the faith. And there's some unique things on the coast. They don't realize that Tuscany has a whole beautiful coastline that you can visit. And there's other smaller towns, just like Porto Venere and other places that are really special in terms of the faith, where there are miracles and special icons that most tourists or pilgrims don't see or visit. So, my hope is to continue this as long as God allows. I'm hoping for a couple of more books anyway, so we'll see where this goes. But I just really want to thank you for allowing me to talk about it on the show, because I think in this year of St. Francis, even if people don't make it over to Italy, they can have an armchair pilgrimage, number one, but I think more importantly, they can learn more about this great saint. There's so much that we didn't know, that I didn't know, until I started to really do a deep dive into his spirituality.
So, Teresa, you talked about maybe your next book would be on the Tuscany region, and I noticed there is a Tuscany region mentioned in this book. So,
Sure.
are you going to, like, if you do more, if you're blessed to do more, are you going to be focusing on Francis in different areas, or are you taking it in another direction?
I think we'll be going back to for more of an overview now. And for
Okay.
Tuscany, obviously, as we all know, there's a lot of great saints. So you've got Saint Bernardine. You've got, of course, I would say most importantly, you've got Saint Catherine of Siena. So I think we'd focus a great deal on her. But you'll
Okay.
be mentioning, you'll see Saint Francis because, as you know, Pat, you have the book, and one of the most important events in his life occurred in Tuscany,
Right.
in Laverna, not too far from Florence, where he received the stigmata, or the wounds of Christ. So that you have to mention that if you're writing about Tuscany.
Right.
And Francis has been all over Italy. You know, he traveled everywhere. He traveled all the way to Egypt and met with the Sultan, which I think is interesting given the discussions we're having with Mideast relations, especially this week with, God willing, the potential signing of the peace agreement. I think he's such a great example for us in so many things, in so many ways. So he will no doubt probably show up in these other books because he's been everywhere in Italy. And there's places, even in Cortona, there's a number of places, which is right across the Umbrian border in Tuscany, a beautiful little town known for St. Rita of Cortona, and also under the Tuscan sun. That's where the famous writer Francis Mays still lives. So he will be noticed, I'm sure, in the pages of this next book, God willing. But I really hope people, for now, get a copy of this book. It just came out. The pre-sales were through the roof, and I just hope it continues. Mainly, and I said, Dominic and I said a prayer, asked for the intercession of St. Francis this morning, just asking him to allow people to learn about Christ through him. That, to me, is my goal with this book.
And to do that with the illustration, with the pictures, you get immersed in the life of St. Francis. What a beautiful book. And I'll tell you what, I know there's a lot of people involved in it, but I mean, you're right there with, you're kind of documenting everything for us in such a wonderful way. So it's nice to be, especially during this year of St. Francis, to really kind of get to know him a little better.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you're coming over, let's say, for the big anniversary, obviously 800 years of his passing, which will take place, they're having a big events in the week of the anniversary, which is October 4th. So it's a great book to have, if you're just coming for that event. And again, it's great summer reading, too. I promise you.
Definitely. I can't wait to dig in more to it, Teresa.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thanks for
Appreciate
sharing.
it.
And how do people
Thank
best
you.
get in touch with you? What's the best way to get a copy of this book?
Sure. Just go to teresatomeo.com/books.
I knew it would be simple.
Take
You have
care,
to do the
Teresa.
KISS thing.
Thanks.
Keep it simple, stupid, as
I
they used
love
to
it.
tell me in TV news. Right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Bye, guys. Have a great week.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Oh, yes, well, Vitamin T with Teresa Tomeo. What a wonderful book and what a wonderful segment. Thank you.